Hi everyone, my name is Meg and I am 26 years old. I live in Brooklyn. I am an ESTJ and an Enneagram 8, if that helps you at all. And I wanted to share 3 ways that I have intentionally pursued emotional maturity over the last couple of years, which are counseling, specifically Christian counseling, abstaining from drinking for a year, and a spiritual formation program. So my journey with emotional and spiritual maturity started in 2018 when a friend of mine unexpectedly passed away. And before then, up until that point, I think I had gotten pretty good at controlling or numbing my emotions. In my family growing up, having big emotions was a negative thing and it was really discouraged. And so I think I learned really effectively how to shove everything down and not recognize what I was feeling. But that death was so overwhelming and grief was so overwhelming to me that for the first time I had to really confront what I was feeling and had to find a way to process and sort through all of those big emotions. And so that led me to try out counseling for the first time. And it might seem like a small thing to some people. For me, it was just a really big journey into recognizing my emotions and naming my emotions. Like something like saying, I feel sad is not something that I had practiced at doing before. And it was really revolutionary to my life to learn and to realize that not only do I have these emotions, that they can be helpful information for me, but also that God created us, God created our emotions, and God is an emotional being, and so are we. And those things were just groundbreaking to me as a 24-year-old, learning for the first time what it meant to really sit in my emotions and also invite God into my emotions. And that has changed, I think, everything about how I relate to God or have related to God from that point on. Having a specifically Christian counselor was also really helpful to me. I really wanted a trusted perspective from someone who was also trying to pursue following Jesus in that way. And I have a really wonderful counselor. I'd be happy to give anyone recommendations. She's starting her own private practice next year, and I'm a little bit obsessed with her. I know that you're not supposed to be obsessed with your counselor. I've never even Googled her, but I think just having that trusted relationship in which to bring my most vulnerable self has completely strengthened and deepened and matured my relationship with God and my relationship with myself as well. So through that journey of counseling, I also realized that one of my patterns was to kind of numb myself with alcohol. So I made some really destructive choices in my life because of drinking towards the end of 2018, I think largely due to grief and trying to cope with those big emotions. And through that, I finally just got overwhelmed enough to want to make a big change. So I decided to stop drinking for all of 2019, and I wanted to be really intentional in noticing what made me want to pick up a drink and why I was drinking. So it was really interesting to be at a party and want to reach for a drink and then stop and ask myself, why do you want this? Or what purpose is this going to serve? And I learned that I was trying to check out from my emotions. Every time I wanted to drink, I figured out that it was because I felt anxious or sad or uncomfortable. And that really helped me develop my philosophy of drinking, in that I don't want to drink when I'm feeling sad or anxious, but instead I've reintroduced drinking and I only want to drink to celebrate with my loved ones. So I choose not to drink if I'm feeling anxious or sad, or if I don't want to be somewhere, I just leave instead of getting another drink to cope with that, which is what I would do before. And if this resonates to you, just as an encouragement, this community was so encouraging and helpful to me when I was going through that journey. people found so much joy in ordering me a seltzer or making me like a special mocktail at parties. So it was really helpful for me to share that journey with this community, probably some of you that are watching this now. And I felt really loved and appreciated through that. Lastly, I participated in a year-long spiritual formation program outside of this church community with some other people that go to our church. And it was my first introduction into spiritual disciplines and spiritual practices, which a lot of them we're learning about through this course. So actually we're all already doing this one. But it's maybe you felt this too, but I have been so encouraged in this like kind of formalized study of these practices, getting a more expansive view of what life with God can look like for my whole lifetime. I think for a long time I just wondered a lot, like, what is middle age gonna look like? Because I feel like I'm already gonna know everything by that point. But it feels now really exciting and lovely to think about faith as this continual refinement process, really, of myself and of the way that I see the world and others around me, and that it's going to be different in every season of my life depending on the circumstances. So that makes me look forward very much to the next 50 years of getting to know myself and getting to know God and getting to experience life in a deeper way because of the continual way that He is working in me and through me. I hope that was encouraging to you. Thank you for listening, and I love you guys.